get to the front of the rim. It's exactly what they talked about in that timeout.
Armstrong. B.J. Armstrong once again providing much damage to the Phoenix Suns. Fast start, he's at 4 out of 6. He has 8 points. Chicago leads 21-17. Here's Marley. Yes. And Marley, over the first 2 games, not able to get into it in the first half. In both situations, he came on in the second half. That's his first field goal of the night. Here is Pippen. Scottie Pippen getting good looks. His second field goal has 4. The Bulls now lead by 4. Again, they pick up Kevin Johnson at midcourt.
Well, they're just trying to wear him down. What they want to wear him down, especially for the fourth quarter.
Barkley lost the handle. And they will jump it up. Pippen diving on top of Dumas to tie him up.
Off the dribble, Scottie Pippen elevates and then gets a clean, wide-open look at the front of the rim. You've got to have a hand in his face, go up and challenge the shot. The scramble for the loose ball. This is the finals. You get on the floor and get after all of the loose ones.
Timeout called with 2:52 left in the first.
Well, Chris, watching some of those plays just before, B.J. Armstrong, you'd like to talk about his season.
Yeah, B.J. Armstrong has been a real pivotal player for the Chicago Bulls this year. He's come on and replaced John Paxson. John Paxson's had a great couple of years, really hit the open shot whenever Jordan penetrated before. And now B.J. Armstrong is filling that role, but I think he's also doing some other things that Paxson really wasn't capable of doing. Paxson really wasn't able to create his own shot, whereas B.J. Armstrong can, off the dribble, create his own shot. He can, like Paxson, hit that open J. And also, I think his defense is a little bit tougher than Paxson's. He's a little bit more athletic, so he can get up on these players and put more pressure on them, such as Kevin Johnson. So I think he's been a real key person for the Bulls in terms of them getting past the Knicks and also getting this 2-game lead against the Phoenix Suns.
You were talking about pivotal players. This guy is fairly pivotal as well out there. Now, Michael Jordan, he's been doing extremely well, but as you pointed out before, he hasn't been totally dominant all the time.
Yeah, I think, everyone puts the pressure on Michael. He's been such a great player for so long. Everyone's been a little bit spoiled by his greatness. I do think it's been a long season for him. It started with the Olympics, and it does take wear and tear on your body. But he's come out and he scored the points, and I think that the Knicks played real physical against him, and he was able to get through that series, and seems to be doing just fine now. So I think people have to give the guy a break.
There's a bit of criticism of the Knicks during that Eastern Conference Finals against Chicago, that they were being too physical.
The Knicks played Jordan real tough. I mean, John Starks and Doc Rivers, they're very athletic, very physical guys. They made it tough for him. And also, the Knicks as a team play very good team defense. Charles Oakley and Patrick Ewing and all those guys came over and helped out whenever Jordan got past one of the other guys. They just played good, clean, tough defense, and I think that's why it was so difficult for Jordan against the Knicks.
It must have been so frustrating for New York. They were up 2-0, and then they lost it. But let's now go back to the commentary in Chicago.
Well, B.J. Armstrong came on very strong at the end of the regular season. He has had an excellent playoff run. It took a while for B.J. to gain the confidence of Michael Jordan and the rest of his teammates when he was inserted into the starting lineup earlier this season. It was not readily accepted, but it is a different story now, and we talked about that with Michael Jordan.
I think B.J., like most college players coming to this level, want to be a star. They want to be noticed. They want to score. They want to be known as a scorer. I think most of the people realize that if you score a lot of points, sometimes you get a lot of the recognition. But I think from what B.J. felt is that he knew he could play on this level. He knew he wanted to see his success come his way, but he had to be patient. We had to do it within the team concept. I think he's accepted that role to a point where it's made us a much better team, and now he's getting the recognition that he certainly deserves.
B.J. Armstrong, first-round draft pick of the Bulls back in '89, in his 4th year out of Iowa. And the jump controlled by the Bulls. They've hit their last 4 shots. They lead 23-19.
Ahmad just mentioned that in the last time out, Phil Jackson emphasized, don't rush and try to bury him early. Stay within the offense. We know that KJ's playing Michael. We could go to it all the time, but that would take the other guys out of want to do that. They'll get to Michael eventually.
Last touch by Dumas. The Suns have inserted Oliver Miller for the first time.
And I think what Coach Paul Westphal is doing here with all these mismatches and going to different lineups is he's trying to conserve first Dan Majerle's energy where he can get off offensively. And then when KJ is guarding Michael Jordan, that means that he can get away from BJ and won't be pressured all over the court once the outlet comes to him.
Oliver Miller was called for that foul.
Scramble for the loose ball. Miller turned his head, didn't keep a body on King. King makes the quick move, comes up with the ball.
Both teams have only 2 team fouls. Very few whistles here at the start. Jordan, after feeling around for the presence of Majerle, connecting for his 4th field goal. He's 4 for 6, 9 points. Chicago 25 and Phoenix 19 with just under 2 minutes left in this first quarter. Game 3 of the best of 7. Phoenix trying to cut it to a 2-1 lead. Chicago trying to go up 3-0, and Michael Jordan puts the Bulls up 27-19.
Dan Majerle just stood in that corner, even after the steal, never moved. He just couldn't believe that Michael Lefter came up with it that clean.
Dumas with the second effort following the rejection, and the Bulls now lead by 6 points. Jordan off the crossover. Oh, he's on fire. Michael Jordan with 13, and Chicago has hit 7 of its last 8. They lead by 8, and the foul is called.
It's not always going to be KJ guarding Michael. This time he feels the bigger man needs a little space, a little hip action, then elevate over the top to get a good look. Not only does he do it at the offensive end, but he leaves Majerle, picks Oliver Miller's pockets, goes down, gets the easy score, and Dan Majerle just cannot believe that that took place.
Non-shooting foul on Armstrong. Barkley, not a good shot. And last touched by the Bulls. Dumas, Barkley, Miller on the front line. Majerle and Johnson in the backcourt with 1 minute left in this first quarter. Dumas stripped. Jordan knocking it away. B.J. Armstrong hears it from the crowd as John Paxson replaces him. Armstrong leaves with 8 points. And another outstanding effort. Holding foul called on Paxson.
See, the struggle has come from Phoenix again when they've been able to have the setup in their half-court offense. You know, when they were running up and down, getting steals, getting dunks and layups, it was because of their transition game. Now they're back into their half-court game, and they've not been able to score in that half-court offense.
Mark West getting ready to return. Bulls 29 and the Suns 22. Here's West, who earlier had 3 blocked shots. Charles Barkley will get a rest. Charles has not been effective. 1 of 4, 4 points, along with 5 rebounds.
Is this a vote of confidence by Paul Westphal that KJ has been on the floor the entire quarter? No one's come in for him?
You're on the road now. Frank Johnson is a good player, and he probably plays better when he's at home. But now you're on the road in the biggest game in probably Phoenix Suns history to date. And you got to go with your veteran. You got to go with the all-star and KJ.
Jordan tried the bullet pass. The officials checking it over. Garrettson and Pavetta in a discussion as to who knocked it out of bounds. Pavetta apparently had the better look, and he says last touched by Chicago.
Well, to me, it hit Oliver Miller and went out of bounds. Nobody up from the Chicago team touched it after that. So you got a break there for the Phoenix Suns.
That's not the contention of the Bulls, but the ball goes to Phoenix. Half minute remaining in this first quarter. Chicago leads by 6. Dumas, Miller with the tip. So the Bulls now lead 29-25. 20 seconds remaining in the quarter.